Hi, I'm Warren Archer, founder of the Enlightened Success Path, ESP for short. What do I mean by Enlightened Success and ESP? Well, the ESP I'm talking about isn't extrasensory perception, though that would be fun. In a previous video, I went into detail about what I meant by the words enlightenment and enlightened. It's worth going over again briefly in this video because otherwise, if it were just success path, it would be the same as any other path to success. And the Enlightened Success Path is like no other. When I talk about enlightened or enlightenment, I'm not talking about something magical or extraordinary. Contrary to what has been implied for thousands of years of hype, enlightenment is not only simple, it's extraordinarily ordinary. Enlightenment is presence with no suffering. And now by suffering, I'm talking about fear, anxiety, guilt, all these negative stories people tell themselves that take them out of the present and into a nightmare of their very own making. Enlightenment is often overlooked because of our expectations that tell us it should be something more than what already is. I'll get back to enlightenment and how it applies in the context of enlightened success, but first I'd like to talk about the second word in the Enlightened Success Path, success. Now, I think we all have a pretty solid idea of what success means, at least what success means to each of us, because what one person considers success isn't necessarily success for another. Success is what you define it to be. And so you're a success when you consider yourself to be a success. The media tries to tell us what success should look like. We see this all the time, especially when it comes to advertising, right? A successful man has six-pack abs, that perpetually unshaven look. He drives a fire-red convertible at crazy speeds in Malibu and has an Iron Man suit packed into his watch. The successful woman has six-pack abs, a perpetually unshaven look, well, just kidding, or am I? A fire-red convertible and a superwoman outfit, and she's taken on the world. Maybe some of you have seen Shark Tank. That show is a lot of fun, right? Super entertaining. But there's an underlying message of what success is or should be, and the panel members, the sharks, act as judges determining which hopeful entrepreneur is successful and which is a failure. This is a show that is viewed by millions of people and can easily shape ideas of what is currently considered conventional success. This social conditioning is very powerful. I know it was for me for decades. I wanted to be a success in other people's eyes. I was letting the mass consensus determine my definition of success. I wanted to get a black belt in karate. I wanted to become a chess master, a concert-level pianist, a published author, an airline pilot, and of course, I wanted a ton of money. The list went on and on and on. And for the most part, I succeeded in achieving the goals that I set for myself. On some level, I believed attaining all these goals would give me that feeling of acceptance I craved from others. It took me almost half a century to let go of that need for social acceptance, discover my purpose, and to have my goals fully aligned with that purpose. So prior to being free from my need to impress others, my definition of success was achieving something that got me recognition, money, or preferably both at the same time. For someone else, the definition of success might be living in financial freedom with no need to work for the rest of their life. For someone else, it could be helping kids in Africa without having to worry about money or any other responsibilities. And for someone else, it might be a stress-free life, taking walks on the beach. No beach house, no Maserati, no bank account with too many zeros to count at a glance. Just a life of chill and relaxation. You might not be on the cover of Forbes magazine, on interview number 3 with Oprah, and have 1 million likes on Facebook and a gazillion followers on Instagram, but regardless of what society or friends and family might think, you might still consider yourself a success. And if that's the case, then you are a success. Whatever your version of success may be, we can all agree that success means attaining the goals you set out to achieve. Success, according to the Enlightened Success Path, is more than just attaining goals. It's attaining goals while fulfilling your purpose. And that's just the success part. That's not enlightened success. So let's take a closer look at enlightenment. It's the key ingredient to enlightened success. It's practical, not something mystical. Some of you might feel uncomfortable with the word enlightenment. For some of us, the word reminds us of cults and people in orange outfits carrying flowers and wearing huge smiles. The definition of enlightenment, it's only what benefits you. That it's not an attempt to try to get you to believe some supposed truth about enlightenment. Enlightenment is presence with no suffering. That doesn't mean that you don't have to go to the dentist anymore. It's more like you go to the dentist, but you don't waste a second torturing yourself with worrying about how much it's going to cost and how painful it's going to be. You might end up backing up your brand new car into a lamppost. Enlightenment doesn't mean things like that don't happen anymore. But you won't be spending time thinking about the stupid mistake you made and wishing you could go back in time and do things over. You wouldn't see it as a mistake at all. You'd see it just as an event. You do what you have to do. Call your insurance company or save yourself the potential hike on your premium and call a body repair shop for an estimate. Once you've done that, you're on to the next thing. You don't sit there trying to figure out some kind of imagined truth. Oh, the universe is punishing me. This is karma. The truth is I'm a terrible driver. I should never have done this. I know better. I know this was going to be one of those days. I never should have gotten out of bed. So it's really important to reiterate that the definition of enlightenment given here is for practical reasons. It isn't about trying to instill a philosophy or belief or find some kind of truth. And this is the key. The approach to everything with enlightened success is not to seek truth with a capital T, but to offer what is useful to you at the present moment. And the enlightenment I'm talking about is highly practical. Being present and free of suffering is about as practical as it gets. Enlightenment is losing yourself to the moment. There's just you doing this thing. It could be going on a nice walk on the beach or hike in the forest. It could be bungee jumping, or it could be pushing a cart in the supermarket, or waiting in line at the post office, or being completely immersed in whatever you do for a living. That's what enlightened success feels like. Light in the moment and fulfilled with none of the fear, anxiety, and worry normally associated with a conventional perspective on success. What it does for you is optimize every moment along the path, thereby making it the shortest distance to any goal. Okay, but how? Well, in a nutshell, it's using your thoughts as a tool rather than being a tool getting used by your thoughts. I cover this in detail in my book, I Think Therefore I Lie. In enlightened success, this highly focused presence is where you get to have your cake and eat it as well. You have energy, focus, and enthusiasm right now. Without stories about mistakes in the past or miserable future, there's no fear, anxiety, or worry. In that timeless moment where you're in the flow, you have everything you could possibly dream of attaining from any goal. But that's not all there is to it. The greatest benefit of this key ingredient is, in terms of success, is that you are enjoying all the benefits of attaining any goal. Your focus is propelling you to at the greatest possible speed towards your goal. It's Zen without the sacrifice. Well, that's not true. There is sacrifice. You're sacrificing your suffering. Enlightened success is all about simple, practical steps. It's about what works for you right now. This isn't theory and pretty words. So what is enlightened success? In the simplest words I can think of, enlightened success is all about enjoying the path as much as the goal, and where ultimately the path and the goal are one. When thoughts are used as a tool, then by extension, so are paths, methods, techniques, and anything else that can offer value. With the Enlightened Success Path, you're open to anything. All paths lead to Rome. It's just a matter of determining which path, method, or technique is useful to you. This might seem obvious, but here's the difference. With the Enlightened Success Path, methods, techniques, and ideas aren't viewed as true or false, the best or the worst. They're viewed in terms of what is useful to you at this moment. So what is useful to you might not be useful to me, and what is useful to me now might not be useful to me at some other time. It's not a matter of right or wrong, it's a matter of what works for you. With the Enlightened Success Path, there's complete openness to anything that is useful for as long as it remains useful. It's value to you at the moment. That's the only determination that you need to make. What value does it have to you at the moment? While the ESP, Enlightened Success Path, has clear strategies and steps, one key ingredient in this is openness at all times. The ESP is not about imposing a belief or system. That's not openness, and that's not how it works. So in videos, you won't see me criticizing other people, ideas, or methods. If I do mention other people, ideas, or methods, it's to point out what I find awesome about them and why I find them so useful and how they can be of great value to you and along your path to enlightened success. Leave your comments below and I'll actually respond. Click on subscribe and get Enlightened Success videos as soon as they become available. Thank you.